This has to be one of the most easiest and reliable meal preps I make when I'm short on time. It's sticky garlic beef, broccoli, and jasmine rice. There's only 10 ingredients as well, including salt, pepper, water, and oil. It stores and reheats really well, the macros are good, and it is delicious. We'll start off by adding 300 grams or 10.5 ounces of washed jasmine rice to a saucepan, 550 milliliters of cold water, a pinch of salt, and then take this over to the stovetop, place it onto a high heat. Once this is at a boil and you start to see those bubbles around the edges, we can place on a lid and then we'll turn down the heat and let this cook for 12 minutes. Next is the broccoli. I've got one large head here. All we need to do is just slice it around that core and remove the florets, and then just go through with the florets and make sure they're all the same size. If they are inconsistent, things just cook at different rates, so just get them nice and trimmed up. Go through and just remove the woody end from the stem. Some people find the outer shell bitter. You can peel this off or just cut it off. For me, I'm just going to use the whole lot, and there's actually most of the nutrients and a really nice sweet flavor in this. So just go through and chop this up. Now for the broccoli, we're going to need a saucepan filled half full of water or half empty, depending on your view on life. And I'm going to be placing a steamer basket over the top. If you don't have one of these, you don't have to worry. There's multiple different ways that you can cook this, and I'll have details about that in the description. As for this, we're going to place this onto our stovetop. When the water's boiling, add in your broccoli, place on a lid, and let this steam for about 5 to 6 minutes. And it's going to make things a lot easier for when we add it into our beef, and this way keeps the nutrients in the broccoli. Now back to the rice. This has been cooking for 12 minutes. Take it off the heat, but leave the lid on for another 4 minutes, and then carefully remove that lid. Fluff the rice up with a fork or a spatula. Just go through, and what you should have is some really nice, soft, fluffy rice. Nothing stuck to the pan. And if you like to use a rice cooker, you're more than welcome to do so. Just before we get cooking the beef, we're going to make a sauce. This is 100 milliliters or 100 grams of low sodium soy sauce, 2 tablespoons or 40 grams of honey. Get out your microplane and grate in 4 cloves of garlic. Just turn this into a paste. You can also mince it, so roughly chopping it as well. But you're always going to get the best flavor out of grated garlic, especially for something quick cooking, like a stir fry. Add in a touch of ground white pepper to taste, and then whisk to combine, mainly concentrating on mixing that honey through and breaking up that garlic. So that right there is a really, really simple stir fry sauce. There isn't much to it at all. It is just a soy sauce base. You can add all sorts of different things to this if you prefer, but stock standard like this, you really can't go wrong. All right, onto the cooking. Large pan or a large wok is perfectly fine. Place this over a high heat and get this nice and hot, or until you see a light smoke.
Add in 1 tablespoon of peanut oil. You can use spray oil as well to cut the calories. Add in 800 grams or 1.7 pounds of lean beef mince. I'm using 5% fat. Spread it out and let it sit for about a minute to then start mixing it through, and you'll notice a lot of water retention come out. We want to cook this out completely, and you can season to taste with a little bit of salt and pepper, but just keep in mind that we're adding soy sauce to this in a minute, so we don't want to over season it. In total, we want to cook this for about 6 to 7 minutes or until no longer pink, and of course that water retention has evaporated. Give the sauce a quick whisk and add it in. We only need to cook this for about 1 to 2 minutes. That honey is going to turn into a glaze once it hits the heat and coat that meat really well. If there is any water retention, or if you've used a higher fat content, that sauce won't mix in properly, so make sure that everything is completely out of the pan. Add in the steamed broccoli or however you've chosen to cook it, and then mix through. Make sure everything is completely coated, and what you should have is something that looks like this. You can add a little bit of dark soy sauce if you prefer the color a little bit darker. This recipe is enough to fill 5 750 milliliter containers. You can either weigh everything and then divide it by 5, or just go by eye and then just chuck everything into those containers. That choice is all yours. And this right here is the macros for a single portion, and a full written recipe as well as the remaining nutrition is in the link in the description. For storing, they'll last 4 days in the fridge and 3 months in the freezer.
So with all that said, we can then dig in. For simplicity, you really can't go wrong. There's only 10 ingredients, it stores and reheats really well, the macros are good, and it tastes delicious. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, along with hitting the bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.